Tucker on him. Throws it up for Ayton. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taps and Jacks. I am your host, Jordan Stacks and Stacks Lads. Joined as always with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson.
Yes, sir.
Live and direct Tuesday night. We're gonna dive back into our top 10 position list tonight. We're gonna move into second base here shortly. By far the toughest list we've had to make so far.
Agreed. Fully agreed.
This was definitely the toughest, so we'll get into that. But yeah, before that, we are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ, straight to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets, become a better Sharps app. What are you sipping on, Ben? I saw you pour something over there.
Yeah, so this is a brewer that we've both been to. Well, we've been to one of the brew houses for this. And this is Dust Bowl Brewing. So Jordan and I have been to the tap house in Livermore. I've also been to the tap house in Monterey. Great beer. Since it's Tuesday, I had to do Taco Truck. It's a super light lager, 4.7%. Really easy drink. This is one that I've had before, and it is definitely one that you can go back to. It's not quite hot enough to drink this beer, but I mean, you can always drink beer.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the perfect conditions to drink this beer.
Yeah.
But this is a great summer beer. But wanted to bring it to the show tonight, especially for Taco Tuesday.
Fuck yeah. Love that. I'll start reviewing beers shortly, but I'm on a two week cleanse. I haven't drank in a while, so I'm trying to hold on to it as long as I can.
Yeah, no worries about that. I got us covered.
There we go. So before we jump into the list, I do want to talk about some news that broke yesterday. I think John Heyman reported it. I don't know if it was Heyman. Someone fucking reported it that the Padres are listening to offers on Michael King now. So we've heard that they're listening to offers on Luis Arraez. We've heard they're listening to offers on Dylan Cease, and now we're hearing that they are listening to offers on Michael King. So, you know, we kind of speculated this before, Ben, that the Padres could go into a fire sale, and it looks as if that is going to be the case. So, with all that being said, you know, where do you think is a potential landing spot for Mr. Michael King, who has 2 years left on his deal?
There's a bunch of places that he could go. There's still a lot of places that need pitchers too. You know, Baltimore, I think, is a big spot for him, especially because of the talent that they can return for King. He only has 1 year left on his deal, and he's going to get a big payday after that. So I don't think it's going to be a huge return for San Diego. It's going to be big, but I don't think it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
But I think you know, I think he could go to Baltimore. I think he could go to the New York Mets. They have some young guys that would, you know, that are kind of at that play now, you know, ready position that they could trade. Toronto could always use a pitcher. Detroit could use a pitcher. I would love San Francisco to be able to get him, but you know, obviously they won't trade within division. Likely won't trade within division. So,
I think if there's I know a lot of times, like in most sports, people are like, "Oh, they're not going to trade within the division." I think in baseball, though, I think teams are more likely to trade within the division because they're so familiar with the other teams' farm systems and et cetera. So I think in baseball, that's kind of off the limits for most of the time. Most of the time.
Yeah, and if you're looking to get the best return, that could be, that could be something that you look at in Division Two, and since you're in Division, your minor league systems are also going to be in Division, so you do know uh, those players a little bit better. So, I mean, it could happen. San Diego is very shortstop heavy, which is kind of what we'd be offering short, third, um, kind of second area. So I don't think San Francisco is a good fit for trading young guys, but I would love Michael King on the Giants, but again,
Yeah. I mean, it's a
I
good
just don't
fit.
think this trade, the what San Francisco has to offer would not be what San Diego wants.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like whenever it comes to trading, I mean, nobody can outbid the Orioles. Um, but that also means the Orioles have to get involved, and it's seems as if Mike Eliash and co have been very hesitant on parting ways with a lot of their top prospects. However, signing Dylan Carlson, and I know it's like a really low risk deal, right? But the guy is only 27, and
Yeah.
he has shown he's shown potential before of being like an everyday All Star type caliber outfielder. And so I do think there is a possibility where we could potentially see a, Heston Kjerstad get traded or a Kobe Mayo.
Mhm.
And the reason why I say Kobe Mayo is because obviously you have Jordan Westberg at third, right? You obviously have Gunnar Henderson at shortstop, and then you have Jackson Holliday at second base, and that's basically your infield of the future. So what does that leave you with that first base? Now, do you continue to play Ryan Mountcastle? Ryan Mountcastle's on a team-friendly deal. He's still in arbitration, so he can also be traded, and he's obviously big league ready. Although I don't know how much his draft stock, or not draft stock, I don't know how much he's like worth on the market in terms of trade value. But yeah, I mean the Orioles have some interesting things. Like they have a lot to figure out as to what they want to do. And I thought part of the reason why they were going to let Santander walk Ben is because I thought it was time for Heston to take over every day in the outfield. Are they going to DH him? Maybe. Are they going to, move Kobe Mayo to first base this year? Maybe. I don't know. But those guys are MLB ready prospects, and they're top 50 prospects, and they're ready to fucking go. Not to mention, you have a top 5 prospect in Samuel Basallo who plays catcher. You know what I mean? So and
They're
there's
not
been
they're not going to dangle Pasalo out there unless they get something else big in return.
I think for a Michael King trade, I think Basallo. Well,
Not for
I don't.
1
Yeah,
year.
not for 1 year.
Yeah.
I thought that was a big reason why they didn't trade for Crochet is because I think the White Sox wanted Basallo and they were like, nah.
Yeah.
And I've also heard rumors, Ben, that they want to transition either Basallo or Adley Rutschman or both of them to potentially like switch off at catcher and first base.
Yep. Which again is reason for Mountcastle. Basalo's not ready yet though, right? He's still
He's
got a
in.
year or so.
I don't know, dude. I think he's gonna be up by July. He's in AAA, and I mean he soared through AA last year, made it to AAA at the end of the year, and he was smacking AAA.
Yeah.
So I think he's closer than we think, but again, like they're not gonna rush him up if they don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I think the Orioles are in a very interesting spot, and like the first thing when I heard the Michael King rumor, I was like, well, is this when the Orioles make their move for a starter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This could potentially be the move, and
Yep.
we'll see. But I agree with the Mets. I think the Mets are another fit. I think the Braves could also be a fit.
Mhm.
However, the Braves don't really have prospects, like at least MLB ready prospects to deal.
Boston could be another
Boston.
fit there too. They need a starting pitcher badly.
I mean, they're going into next season with with Houck, Crochet, Cutter Crawford. I don't think they're
Bello, but
Bello turned the corner last year. Honestly, I don't think their starting rotation was the issue. It was their bullpen that was their biggest issue.
yeah, but I think their bullpen had to play a lot because their starting rotation didn't go deep.
I feel like starting rotations don't go deep for anybody anymore. But
Yeah,
I mean, their bullpen was so bad, man. Like,
it really was. Second half of the season was horrid.
and that's why I thought the Red Sox were going to do like whatever it took to get Tanner Schott.
Yeah,
and they offered him more money than the Dodgers, and he still took it. But we'll see what happens with the whatchamacallit, Michael King situation. Reportedly, Alex Bregman has like 4 deals on the table.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the teams, but it's said to be 4 teams have deals on the table for him. He's obviously the biggest free agent remaining. So we'll see what his destination is. I still think the Tigers are going to swoop in there, dude.
I forgot who was on the list of teams that were on him, but
The Tigers, the Red Sox, the Astros, and I think it was the Blue Jays.
yeah, I was gonna say Toronto.
I think it was the Blue Jays.
Toronto's just fucking fishing for anything right now.
Bro, they're at that point where they're just trying to. If you're willing to sign, well, they'll pay you.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with Bregman. Yeah, I mean,
Did you hear the Howell? Sorry, are we done with Bregman?
yeah. The Hal Steinbrenner.
Yeah, his comments today that he made.
I mean, what do you think of it?
I think he's fucking hilarious because he's got the third most expensive
for those that don't know what he said.
So here's the quote. Here's the quote. I got it up. It's difficult for most of us owners to be able to do the kind of things that they're doing. Talking about the Dodgers. We'll see if it pays off. They still have to have a season relatively injury free for it to work out for them. It's a long season, as you know, and once you get to the postseason, anything can happen. We've seen that from time and time again. I just find it absolutely hilarious that he is putting himself in with these, owners that can't afford to do the kind of things that the Dodgers are doing, yet they have the third overall payroll at $303 million.
Yeah, but I do understand what he's saying though. He's speaking in terms of that the Dodgers have this extra money, this extra $1 billion in revenue that comes from Japan alone. And I don't know the full context of what was said. I only heard that one part of the quote. So I don't know the full context. So I will say that, but I do think that he's kind of saying like, look, dude, like the Dodgers got Ohtani, and that's opened up endless possibilities for them because they can offer these guys other sources of revenue, other streamlines of revenue that we just can't do, that nobody else can. And if that's kind of what he's speaking on, then I totally understand and I totally get it.
But don't. I didn't take it that way. I took it as like, oh well, he's taking himself out of that league, which he obviously isn't. He is in that same league with the Dodgers and spending.
Yeah.
He has, yes, giving him a huge TV deal, very similar to a little lower than what the Dodgers are getting in their TV deal. Yes, you're right. They don't have the money from the Japanese TV and all of the sales that they have in Japan, but this is one of the most popular teams in the world, and they're bringing in plenty of revenue worldwide through their merch sales. They sell out every game.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can put yourself in to anywhere close with these other owners that can't spend the money like the Dodgers are doing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
If
But
this was coming from the Marlins,
but there is an issue where the Dodgers, I mean, like, dude, you know, guys are signing for less to play with them because they can get revenue from other areas. And unfortunately, like, that's the thing is, like, Dodger fans on Twitter are like, well, you know, just the team's owner should just pony up and pay. It's like, well, you guys are signing players for less than what other guys are offering. So that's not the case. And so I understand his frustration. And I do agree with you in the sense that, like him that's why it sounds hilarious coming from him, is because, like, come on, dude, like, you're the Yankees, bro. Like, talking about you can't do what other teams can do, like, but again, like, I don't know the context of the quote, dude. I don't know what else was said. I don't know what else was talked about. And so, yes, if he's talking about, like, we just can't spend money like the Dodgers, then he's crazy. He's stupid. But if he's talking about, you know, the fact that the Dodgers are getting these Japanese players, and the reason why they're getting them is because of Shohei, then I do agree with what he's saying. And not even the Japanese players, every player. You know, Tanner Scott took less money as well. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, dude, like, nothing's guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Dodgers on paper should win 130 games, dude.
Yep.
Will that happen? I doubt it. And I guarantee it's going to be very difficult because expectations are going to be enormous. And every single stadium they go to, Ben, people will be there rooting against them for the most part.
The majority of people will be there. I also think you'll see a lot of Dodger blue in every single stadium.
Yeah, I mean, you have, like, you know, people will obviously go to see Ohtani play, and, you know, we'll see what happens. It'll be
they'll go to see the West Coast All-Stars.
Yeah. We'll see. And I mean, dude, Freeman and Mookie are getting a year older, you know what I mean? Like, there's no guarantees in baseball, man. There's no guarantees. And every year the Dodgers throw their pitchers' arms out, so, you know, there's no guarantee they stay healthy all year.
Yep.
All right, let's move into our top 10 second basemen. So, you know, as I talked about earlier, this was definitely the hardest list we've made so far. I felt like the top 3 were pretty easy, and then I felt like everything after that, like, you could make a case for, like, you know, 8 to 10 guys to make the top 10, and you could put them anywhere in the rankings, and you could make a good argument. So this one will be interesting. I have a feeling we're gonna have 2 very different lists.
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest, I thought the top 2 were easy.
Oh, I thought
after that,
3 were very simple.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what your 3 is and my 3 is. So,
all right. So who do you have starting it off at number 10?
I have from the Sacramento Athletics, Zach Gelof.
Interesting.
I think a guy who had some struggles at points last year. But what's that?
Some struggles.
Yeah. And the biggest part of that was putting the ball in play. 17 home runs, 105 hits, and 497 at bats. The on-base percentage is the struggle that I really looked at last year, and that's going to be something that he needs to find those holes, and he definitely can do that. I think not having the weight of the world on his back is going to be a big part of that as well. But you know, I think he's deserving to be on the 2025 top 10 list. And you know, can make that step up to be a top second baseman in this league. 138 games, 7 errors, had the highest putouts at second base, so defensively strong, but offensively needs to kind of take that step up.
Yeah, Gelof did not make my list. Anyone that strikes out almost 35% of the time, it's very difficult to put you in the top 10. He has to cut down on strikeouts. But again, you know, he could definitely make that top 10. At number 10, I have Colt Keith of the Detroit Tigers. Guy I'm very high on. He's one of the top prospects in baseball. When he got called up and and Riley Green got healthy, it was about the same time. That's when the Tigers really started to make their move. So big expectations for Colt Keith this year. I'm very high on the Tigers. I think the Tigers are going to win the AL this year, and a big reason for that is going to be Colt Keith's production. So I got Colt Keith number 10.
Okay.
Who do you have at number 9?
9, I have Tyler Fitzgerald of my San Francisco Giants. Guy who stepped in big at shortstop last year. Obviously, he's going to be moving over to second base with the signing of Willie. And the biggest part of this was his offense was outstanding. Only played, how many games did he play last year? 96 games. But had 15 home runs, 88 hits, and a 280 batting average. Not only was he good and clutch at the plate, he was also very strong at shortstop. So I think that's going to be a fairly easy move for him over to second base.
Yeah. I only left him off the list because he hasn't played second base.
Mm-hmm.
So but I get it. I think he's gonna crack the top 10 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, I have Jackson Holiday.
He's low.
Yeah, I mean he's coming off a year where he really struggled. So obviously like the potential's there, which is why he even made the top 10 for me. And again, like this is a list like I could see him, by the end of the season. And I think, Ben, I think we should revisit this at the end of the year and redo our list and kind of see where our predictions were to where we rank them after. But yeah, I got Jackson Holiday number 9. I do think he's going to have a much better year, though.
Yep.
So Jackson Holiday number 9. Who do you got number 8?
I have Colt Keith. And a couple left from you, but again, the big thing that you said is when he came in, he was incredibly strong offensively and defensively. The reason why I have him at 8 and not 10, or really, I have him above Fitzgerald and Giloff, is because of his power. And he's got a big bat, and if he can utilize his strengths there, I think this is going to be a great season for him. I think the successes that Detroit has this year are going to play into his successes as well, because what you have going on in the clubhouse correlates to what you have on the field, and I think this is going to be a great year for Detroit. They started it last year, and are going to push it this year, and I think this is the coming out party for Colt Keith.
Agreed.
He is not considered a.
He played too many games last year, so he's not
played too many. Yeah,
he's not a rookie this year.
Where was he at last year?
128.
Oh wow, he had a lot of games. 148.
Did he play in 148?
Yeah, he played almost all.
Damn, I feel like he missed like a month or two.
I guess not. Unless it was around like All-Star break or something.
Well, he really got off to a slow start last year.
Mm-hmm.
But when he really started to figure it out, that's when the Tigers made their push.
Yep.
All right, number 8, I have Jonathan India. I do think going to Kansas City is a good move because now he's going to be hitting in front of Bobby Witt. Not like hitting in front of fucking Ellie De La Cruz's bat or anything, but this is a guy that, like, if I made this list last year at this time, he would have been much higher. I thought he kind of had a down year. I'm not the highest on Jonathan India, but I have him at 8 right now, and I wouldn't be shocked if in September or October we're talking and he's not on the list. So
yeah, I left him off this list because of his power. I think let me pull up his page here.
He only hit 14 home runs last year.
14 home runs, and that was at the Great America Small Park.
Yeah.
So moving to a bigger outfield is going to be you're going to see like single digits, maybe cracking the double digits home runs, and he's just not a power hitter.
No, he's
Um,
not.
and I know that that's not everything, but when you're hitting at 3, you gotta put some balls out.
He had one last year. He let off most of the year.
Hit 1, huh? Okay.
I think that's honestly, I think that's where he's gonna hit this year. I think it's gonna go like India, fucking Bobby Witt, and then Pascantino behind him.
Mhm.
You know,
Probably hit 3rd last year though.
Bobby hit
3rd and 4th.
he hit like 2nd or 3rd most of the year.
Bullshit, man.
Nah, he definitely hit 2nd or 3rd last year. And then Pascantino and Salvador. Yeah, because Pasquatch hit 3rd, and then Salvi Perez hit 4th.
Pascantino was before him.
No, not before Bobby
Yeah.
Witt. No,
Uh-huh.
no, he was not.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not. Bruh, go pull up the
You,
lineups.
you're thinking like your hat right there.
No, dude, he did
You're a
not.
fucking crazy bird.
He did not ever hit ahead of Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt hit in front of Pascantino. There's a way to pull up like their average lineup.
See.
Yeah. Massey, Witt, Pascantino, Perez, Gurriel. That was their that was
Batting,
in the playoffs.
so batting first 4 games, second 75, third 50.
And Pascantino always hit behind him.
That's 22 numbers.
Yeah, bro, I'm looking at it right here. Let me send you this fucking link. There isn't a single game where he didn't hit 2nd last year. He hit 2nd every single game he played. And Pascantino hit 3rd every single game he played. But when he missed time, Salvi Perez hit 3rd. You can go on RotoWire. It shows every single lineup. Here, I'm sending it to you right now. Right there.
Where'd you send it?
To your text. I texted it to you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Jonathan India number 8. Who do you have number 7?
Luis Garcia.
Oh, we both have the same player at number 7.
Sorry, you have Jonathan India. Sorry, I gotta make sure. Now I gotta get back to where I got my notes. So yeah, I got him at 7. I think he had a good season last year. I think he was one of the bright spots on the Nationals team. And really has the offensive prowess. Doesn't strike out a lot. Good eye for the ball, and really puts the ball in play. So bat 282, 18 homers, 22 stolen bases, and a 111 WRC plus.
Yep, and he hit 156 ISO. I agree. I have Luis Garcia number 7. I think he's a hell of a player. He's only 24 years old too, so he's still very young. And I think this Nationals teams, I think they're going to be sneaky good this year. They're just in a very tough division, which makes it difficult for them. But I mean, they have a lot of good young talent, Ben.
Yeah, I think this is. But the problem is that Atlanta's going to be good for a couple years, Mets are going to be good for a long time. Phillies are going to be good for a long time.
But it would not shock me though if one of those teams just has a very bad year.
Yeah. It was Atlanta last year, mostly because of injuries.
It wouldn't even shock
So-
me if the Mets missed the playoffs this year. Because their starting rotation isn't that good yet. Right now.
Their starting rotation isn't bad, though.
It's not good.
It's not great. It's good.
I would say even Philly's starting rotation ain't that good.
No. They're just getting a year older and older.
Yeah, and they got Zach Wheeler and Jesus Luzardo, and Luzardo's never been able to stay healthy, so we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
I actually think like I said, dude, like obviously this is a tough division, but it wouldn't shock me if one or two of those teams kind of like just have a bad year, even with injuries and stuff. So the Nationals could potentially sneak into the playoffs, dude.
That would be huge.
They got a very young team.
I wish we had our to make the playoffs. Oh no, that was the
That was to win it all.
yeah.
Or win the National League. Win the National League.
Yeah.
We found a very bad number and then it got voided.
Yeah.
All right. So we both got Luis Garcia number 7. Who you got number 6?
I have this person who you have at number 9. I have Jackson Holiday.
Nice.
Couple spots up. And yeah, I thought when he came back last year after his stint in the minors, I'm trying to get the numbers here by month. Where here you go, splits. When he came back through in October, I thought he was seeing the ball a lot better. Didn't bat the greatest with a 218 average, but he did walk a lot. 11.1% walk, so he does have a good eye for the ball. He strikes out way too much, which is definitely something that has to change. And he has to stop swinging at balls that are out of the zone. But I thought he played a much better second half than he did the first half. And I think that there is, now that the spotlight isn't going to be on him as much, I think there's some upside to it. This is one that may be a little too high, but I think this team is going to be a lot better offensively, and I think part of that is going to be Jackson. I mean, kid's what, 18?
No, he's like 21 now. Still young. I thought last year.
Oh, he is 21.
I thought last year, when he came up and, he struggled. He was like trying to do too much, and his swing mechanics kind of fell off. And, he even like talked about it that,
Yeah.
like his head wasn't still, and like a lot of things that he normally does, like he wasn't doing. He also lowered his toe tap, so he's not lifting his front leg as high anymore. And he made some adjustments in the minor leagues, came back. He showed flashes. He showed flashes of what he can do and why he was the number 1 prospect in all of baseball. But I will say this, dude. The kid is an extremely hard worker, and I've seen his workout videos in the offseason, and like he's grinding to get where he wants to be and where everyone knows he can be. So I think he's going to have a monster year, dude. I absolutely think he's going to bounce back. And I agree with you, like, he had this like enormous fucking spotlight on him when he came up last year because of all the expectations, and now that's kind of like he doesn't even have the opportunity to win Rookie of the Year. Like, he'll never win Rookie of the Year, dude. Like, that's out of the.
Mhm.
So now all that's behind him, bro, and he can kind of just like start anew this year and start fresh. And I think it's gonna be a blessing. I think it's gonna be a blessing for him. Number 6, I have Ozzy Albies. I'm looking for Ozzy to bounce back this year. Obviously, he was hurt for a much part of last year. But he's one of the best second basemen when he's healthy. So I got Ozzy Albies number 6 here.
Yeah, he was my one honorable mention because I'm just not sure how he's going to bounce back. I couldn't put enough on that to justify him on that top 10 list. So I don't disagree with you on that, but I couldn't put him there.
I think the Braves are going to win that division.
They could, if they can stay fucking healthy.
There's no way they have as many injuries as last year, though.
Yeah, but
chance.
Chris Sale is also not going to pitch like he did last year either.
Yeah, but you got Spencer Schwellenbach, and he was fucking dynamite last year. And then you got Strider coming back.
Yeah, who knows how Strider comes back though.
They got a lot of bright. I like the Braves this year.
Yeah.
I'm high on the Braves this year, which we'll talk about in our division.
Yep.
Who do you got with number 5?
The only person who's in that 5-foot range at number 5, putting Altuve at 5.
Damn, that's hella low.
It is low. I initially had him at 4, but then because he was at 5'6", I put him. I wasn't gonna put him at 6, so I had to put him at 5 because short stack over here is reaching for those top spots. And he's just, I mean, he's getting a year older. He's gonna be 35 this year. And just wonder how much he can continue. I mean, he was all-star last year, 15th in MVP voting, Silver Slugger. I mean, the cheater is a hell of a player, but I do see a little bit of progression. You've got very high hopes and expectations on him this year, and I just wonder if he's going to be able to continue that.
I think Altuve is
a
top 3 second baseman until he's dethroned. And he's a hell of a fucking playoff performer too. He always raises his game when his team needs it.
Yeah.
I got number 5. I have Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner, arguably the best defensive second baseman in all of baseball. Arguably, I said you could argue it. If you're not talking Andres Gimenez, but he also has a little bit of pop. He didn't really hit any home runs last year. Really struggled hitting home runs last year, but he is a good gap to gap hitter. He runs the bases extremely well. He's kind of like a very good all around player, and again, I'm high on the Cubs this year. So I got Nico Hoerner. I had him number 5. Who you got number 4?
Number 4, I'm putting a lot of hope in this, that it's going to be a bounce back year for him, and this is going to be Marcus Semien. His 2023 numbers were incredible. Led second baseman in WAR, played all 162 games, highest plate appearances, at bats, runs and hits for second baseman in the league. He was a Silver Slugger, All-Star, and 3rd in MVP votes. He did have a not as great last year. His WAR dropped down to 4.1, and his numbers definitely declined. I mean, he was 39 points down on his batting average, 40 points down on his on-base percentage, and 80 points down on his slugging percentage. So I am looking for him to have kind of a bounce back year. I mean, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with first basemen. Is availability is huge, and
I mean, he played 159 games last year.
Oh no, absolutely. No, but I'm saying availability is huge, and he's played 159 last year, 162, 161, 162, 53 out of the 60, 162, 159. He's just a healthy guy.
Yeah.
And being able to be there is going to be big. And I think Texas is going to be a lot better than they were last year.
Agreed.
And
by default.
Yeah, that's true. And I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the AL West.
Yeah.
I think there's potentially going to be, 3 teams that can make the playoffs in the AL West.
Agreed. I agree. I have Semien a little bit higher, which I'll get to, but number 4 I have Bryce Terang.
Oh, okay.
He had a nice come out party last year for a hot Milwaukee Brewers team. He's a young cat, excellent defensively, excellent base runner. Doesn't hit for power, but you know when you run the bases and hit for average and get on base like he does, you don't really need to. But I like Bryce Terang, man. He's a hell of a fucking he's just a baseball player, dude. He's a baseball player's baseball player, and
Yeah.
I love that shit. So I got Bryce Terang number 4.
Okay.
Who do you have number 3?
Number 3, I have a coming out party for Matt McLain.
That's it. Yes. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't put Matt McLain on my list.
Yeah, with Jonathan India heading out, I think this is McLean's year to really shine. Played 89 games last year, so he's not going to be rookie eligible.
He played the year before.
Oh, that's right, 2023.
He was hella good. He was hurt.
Yeah.
He had that
He was
shoulder
hurt
injury.
last year, right? Okay, yeah. So 89 games in 2023. But yeah, he played really well in those 89 games. He had 16 homers, which would account into the, mid 30s, or low 30s, excuse me, if he were to play 162. And he hits the ball well. Bat 290 in his rookie year. Slugging of 507. Like this guy puts the ball in the bat. And the bat on the ball. There we go. And defensively is very strong. So I think this is going to be Matt McLain's year.
Oh yeah, he's a hell of a fucking player. I didn't even think about him because he played short the year he played the year before. So I didn't even fucking think about him. But yeah, that's a good one, Matt McLain. I have Marcus Semien number 3. Hoping for a bounce back year there. Not even hoping. I know he's going to bounce back. And even though he had a bad year last year, he was still 3rd in all of second baseman in fucking WAR, which tells you how good of a player he is. He had a down year and was still 3rd. So Marcus Semien number 3. Who do you have number 2?
Ketel Marte.
The fuck? Who? The fuck? All right.
Who do you have at number 2?
Altuve.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's right. I have Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Who the fuck do you have 1?
Mookie.
He's shortstop.
He's playing second.
He's playing shortstop this year.
I thought he was taking over Gavin Lux's spot.
He's playing shortstop.
Who's playing?
I don't know.
Oh, that changes everything. I had Mookie at second.
No, he's playing shortstop. They announced it earlier this offseason that he's
No.
yeah.
That ruins my whole list. No, Mookie's playing.
No, he's playing shortstop, dude. The Dodgers came out and said that he's playing shortstop in 2025. Gives him a full offseason of preparation because last year they only were going to play him at shortstop because they had injuries in spring training, which he didn't get a lot of preparation time. Now he gets a whole offseason to prep.
Oh man, that ruins my whole list.
That's why I was like, hold on, what the fuck when you had Marte number 2? Because I thought Marte clear cut number 1, second baseman.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, well, I guess that moves Ozzy up to 10, and we're moving everybody up the list,
All
except for Jose Altuve. He's staying at 5.
All right. So number 2, you have McLain. Number 1, Marte.
McLain,
Yeah, Marte by far the best second baseman. I don't even think it's fucking debatable.
Yeah.
Not even a debate. Yeah, bro, I thought you knew that.
No, he's
Look. December 9th, 2024.
yeah. I was looking at November 10th. Said he'll play second base.
Yeah.
Damn.
By the time the winter meetings began on Monday, Gomes hadn't answered. Betts is preparing to be the Dodgers shortstop going forward.
Well, shit.
Fucking Ben.
Yep. That ruined all my stuff. Oh, well, we move things up. We have to adjust.
All right, so number 1, you have Marte. Number 2, Matt McLain. Number 3, Marcus Semien. Number 4, who do you have? Because you want Altuve 5.
Altuve.
4, Altuve. 5, Matt Holliday. Jackson Holliday. Number 6, Luis Garcia. Number 7, Colt Keith. Number 8, Tyler Fitzgerald. Number 9, Zach Eloff. Number 10, Ozzy Albies.
Yep.
I have Ketel Marte, number 1. Jose Altuve, number 2. Marcus Semien, number 3. Bryce Terang, number 4. Nico Horner, number 5. Ozzy Albies, number 6. Luis Garcia Jr., number 7. Jonathan India, number 8. Jackson Holliday, number 9. And Colt Keith, number 10.
Yep. That was a tough list.
It was. The shortstops is going to be tough too, but only because making the rankings is going to be tough because I think
there's a lot of people that can be in the top 10.
Yeah, there's a lot of good young shortstops coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you right now, Mookie Betts is not the number 1 shortstop.
Nope. Second baseman, he would have been, but
I think the number 1 shortstop is pretty clear.
Yeah.
I think the number 2 shortstop is pretty clear. I think the top 2 are pretty cut and dry. But we'll get to that on Sunday. We'll talk about it. It'll be an interesting list. And we got to find out, are the Pirates going to play O'Neal Cruz in the outfield, or are they going to play him in the at shortstop? Like, what is the plan for O'Neal Cruz, man?
Yep.
What is the plan for O'Neal Cruz?
Yep. Oh, man. That was a nice little error there by the second baseman.
That's why when earlier I was like, the top 3 are like pretty easy in my opinion. And then after that, it's difficult. But
yeah,
it's all good. How was that beer, Ben?
It was good. Super light. Very little bitterness and very little maltiness too. It really is one of the perfect summer beers. So I cannot wait to drink more of this once it gets fairly hot here in the Bay Area. I know it's nothing like what you've got out in Vegas or what you have in LA or San Diego. But for these 90-degree hot days that we get out here, this is definitely going to be one of the beers that I turn to. Super light, 4.7%. You can drink a couple of these and not be hurting. And yeah, great beer by a great brewery. Really impressed by Dust Bowl. Not only have great beers, they have great food at their tap houses too.
Fuck
so
yeah,
if you're ever out on the West Coast and you see a Dust Bowl brewery, make sure you go there and check it out. I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5.
Hell yeah. Love it. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. If you missed any of the show, you can catch it on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix. Just search Taproom Sports Podcast. It'll be up right after the show. You can catch us on Sunday. We'll be breaking down the top 10 shortstops for 2025. That's gonna be a fun one. Gonna be a good list. We'll also go over any news, rumors that happen between now and Sunday. Hopefully Alex Bregman signs, or we have some other signings, or a trade. Could have some trades, Ben. And then we will be starting our division previews here in a couple weeks, a few weeks. As soon as catchers and pitchers are starting to report. Spring training.
Yeah, division previews start the 16th, Sunday the 16th.
16th of February. So we're coming up there in a couple weeks, man. So we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Thank you for rocking with us. Tell a friend. Join us twitch.tv/taproomsports, youtube.com/@taproomsports podcast. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all later. Have a blessed week. Peace.
Later.